today we have an especially delicious episode for you guys. We're gonna geek out on my new Ferrari F355. Let's check it out. To me, the Ferrari 355 is one of the greatest Ferraris of all time. Let's talk about what makes this car special and how it came to be. Some things are made great right off the bat, and other things companies learn from and they improve. And my favorite things come from competition. And we have the 355 because of the pressure Honda put on Ferrari. Ferrari had unveiled a car called the Ferrari 348 back in 1989. And the 348, it looked cool. It took a lot of styling cues from the Testarossa, which is a Ferrari that I love. Nightmare to own, but it's a very cool looking Ferrari. That to me captures the 80s like there's no tomorrow. And when they designed the 348, they put a lot of the aesthetics of the Testarossa into it. In 1990, Honda releases the NSX. And the NSX did not need an engine out service. The NSX was a car you could drive every day. The NSX showed that a supercar, a mid-engine supercar, does not have to be a nightmare to maintain, own, or be extremely expensive to repair. And it was putting out some really good power figures and was giving the 348 big run for the money. And that hurt Ferrari's ego. So Ferrari went back to the drawing board and they used the basics of the 348 to build the 355. So the 355 wasn't a ground up design. From the get-go, the 355 was built out of competition. So they took the 3.4 liter 8-cylinder engine, they bored it out to 3.5 liters, they put titanium connecting rods in it, and 5 valves per cylinder. Previously, it was 4 valves per cylinder. So they have now 3 intake valves, 2 exhaust valves, and they pushed it to 375 horsepower. Now, 375 doesn't sound like a lot of horsepower in today's standards, especially for a Ferrari or any type of supercar, but at the time, it was the highest horsepower per liter vehicle in production in the world. This car was produced between 1995 and 1999. Mine happens to be the last year of production, a 1999 model, which I absolutely love. Majority of the vehicles that came to the United States happen to be convertibles, Spiders, and majority of those Spiders happen to be F1 paddle transmissions. When you look for a 355 to purchase, finding a coupe or a GTS with a gated manual is almost impossible, especially in the United States right now. Pininfarina is as symbolic of a company as Ferrari is, even though they're always in the background. Majority of Ferraris you jump into from the 80s, 90s, even the 2000s, and even later, you're gonna see Pininfarina badges on them. Pininfarina is a design house that has worked with Ferrari for ages, and they are a killer design house because they nail it every single time, and I absolutely love them. And as somebody that studied automotive design, Pininfarina has always been like that pinnacle for me. This is the last, not only handmade Ferrari. After this, when we jumped to the 360, it was an assembly line car. It's also the last of a Pininfarina era. This back window that we're looking at on this vehicle, this is called a flying buttress back window style. And it carries over from cars like the 308, the 328. It goes way back in history, way past the 80s, and has been a signature piece of Ferraris. This is the last Ferrari that has the flying buttress window design. And we can't have it anymore. This is it. It's done. And that's one of the reasons that the 355s are picking up so much value on the marketplace. What I personally love about these flip-ups is the headlight comes flat down with the hood, and then there's this slight crease downwards in the headlight. And when you look at the car overall, it does give it slightly that sleepy eye, careless, calm, at peace type of look. When I open the garage and I see this car inside of it, it's like Sleeping Beauty, just at peace, at rest, just absolutely gorgeous. And I think it's those little lines that really made that happen with this car. And that's, again, thanks to Pininfarina. Amazing 19-inch BB01s from Brixton Forged. Our boys hooked us up with an amazing set. It's got very rounded edges, so it looks like an OEM wheel. This could be something that's off of a modern Ferrari. And these guys, they spend so much time machining these wheels because it's much easier to make sharp angles. You know, that's one cut. But to get these rounded angles, that's a lot of CNC time. But Brixton always gives it everything they got. We got a dope episode on them coming up for you guys. When it comes to cars aging and starting to get into that collector status, every little detail matters, every option matters. Now, the Ferrari shields on the front fenders of this 355 were an option. The fender itself is actually punched in, it's indented, and the shield is a separate piece sitting inside of it. You could order the 355 with shields or without. A lot of people didn't know that, so a lot of cars were shipped without the shields on the fenders. But majority of people want the shields on the fenders. When it comes to vehicle value, just like we talked about the GTS and the GTB holding more value than a Spider, the cars that have the shields on the fenders hold more value, and those are more sought after. It's a complete car in a sense. I feel like there's so many lasts when it comes to the 355. There's so many little special things about this thing. And when you think back that we're not gonna see a lot of these things happen again. Emissions regulations are just so crazy nowadays. You can't put out that type of power without a hybrid system or without a turbo system. And unless it's, you know, some crazy engineering, like with a Cosworth engine or something like that, that Aston's doing, or that Gordon Murray's doing, who we are huge fans of. Things have changed, and they've changed a lot. They've changed dramatically, and a lot of things have changed for the better. It's better for the environment. It's better in many ways, but these things we're just not gonna have again. So now's the time to capture it, and they are skyrocketing in price, and they're gonna just keep going higher and higher. There's no new ones. There's nothing to replace it. So the more we lose, the more that rust, the more that they get old, the more the rest of them go up in value. And that's why you can't, it's nearly impossible to find a very good condition, gated, manual coupe of a 355. I gotta point out, 355s shipped with this piece as a body colored without any perforations or any opening. This is called a challenge grille. And the 355 challenge vehicles, which they produced just over 100 of, all come with this back grille, but this piece is actually on the window sticker of the vehicle. So this car was ordered with the challenge grille. That means something when it comes to collecting Ferraris. The F129B engine, or in the later years in 1999, the F129C engine. This engine, like we said, is a bored out engine out of the 348. It's called the Tipo F129C, and it is a 5-valve per cylinder engine, 375 horsepower. And it's not all about the power and all of that when it comes to this engine. It's about the insanely sharp throttle response, extremely linear power output, and it is Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde when you are driving it around. Anything below 4,000 RPM and it's like you're just coasting, driving a sporty stick shift car. You go about 4,000, 5,000 RPM and this thing just explodes into life. It's very sharp. The closest thing to a Formula One car that I could, find, it's a screamer, and it's so exhilarating revving it all the way up to 8,500 RPM. Screaming, no low end, all high-pitched frequencies, ear-shattering exhaust. When it comes to the 360s, you could do the timing belt on the 360 from the cabin. You move the seats forward or they remove the seats, and you could access the timing belt of the 360 from the cabin right behind the driver and passenger seat. With this thing, you cannot. And this was the last, speaking of last of this, last of that, the last Ferrari you have to drop the engine to service, but I feel like it's something that's absolutely worth it. We had a lot of work done to it when it was pulled out. You want to get as much done as possible when the engine's out of there, because if you change your mind about adding anything, hey, I should have put that clutch in, that engine has to come back out again. It's the same amount of work. And I don't baby this thing, I actually drive it hard. I didn't buy this car to collect it. I bought it to experience it and to learn this era. This era's cars, pretty minimalistic interiors, and the 355 is no exception. I think the interior on this thing is absolutely perfect. Now, this is an airbag steering wheel, and they don't look anywhere as cool as the non-airbag steering wheel, so I might change this eventually, but just not having your face smashed into a hard steering wheel and having an airbag save you might be reason enough for me to keep this in here. There's no buttons, horns, and that's it. You get decent visibility from the back. In the front, it's very, very livable. You could daily drive this thing. It's a daily drivable Ferrari, and I believe this was the first daily drivable Ferrari. Not only is it a gated manual, not only is it a true hardtop coupe, but it also has carbon fiber sports seats straight from the Ferrari factory with the prancing horse in the headrests. A very small portion of 355s, very small portion, shipped with the carbon sports seats. So this was the absolute icing on the cake for me. One of the very first cars, if not the first car, to ship with 2 suspension settings, which you could adjust from the cabin. So you could, with a flick of a switch, you could go between comfort and sport suspension. I typically drive it in sport setting unless I'm on a really bumpy road, then I'll jump into comfort, but I enjoy the sport setting majority of the time. Here we go. The gated shifter is everything when it comes to driving this car. It feels so good. It's literally a stick with a ball on it, nothing fancy, and you just roll through gears. It feels fantastic when you nail it, when you're rev matching and you get it perfectly, and that clank when it goes in and you get on the gas, it pulls instantly. All of it just speaks so well together. It was a 33,000 mile car when I purchased it. Very, very mint all around. So perfect paint, no painted panels on the vehicle. Every single button in it works, every light works, including dome light. Everything's functioning. There's no leather pulling back or peeling. It's just really good condition. Pair that with the sport buckets that are extremely rare, and you have yourself a very unique, very nice 355 to have in a collection. I've only had this thing for about 6 months now, so I have planned to keep it for quite some time. So anything you guys want to see, let me know. And we have a lot more cool stuff coming for this. We have some modifications coming up. Like, subscribe, share, comment. If you know anybody that's into Ferraris, older Ferraris, or considering a 355, please share the video with them. I'm sure they'll enjoy it. We spend a lot of time and effort making it as good as we can. Thank you for watching again. Dave, Studio Motors, we're out.